And the camera's rolling. I did not press start. It just started itself. It must have a weird setting. Yeah, my hair's blowing, man, because the fan's on. It's super hot here in Southern Oregon. Woo! And this YouTube studio is kind of warm. I got Jet Dog laying next to me over there. She's chilling out. Hey, man, thanks for coming back to the channel to see kind of a curveball weird story tonight. It's summertime, and I got a story about the wintertime. I got to see Divine. Divine from the John Waters movies. You know, Divine. Anyway, Divine performed in Denver, Colorado. Wow, my lighting just got weird on me and got dim. What the hell is going on? I got to see Divine in Denver, Colorado. It was early 88. There's a chance it could have been like December of 87, but with my research, because I lost my original ticket stub to the concert, I'm positive that it was early 88. So I got some stories, some info for you. Divine performed at Rock Island, which was a gay bar, and my friend Shane Frink from the band Happy World, killer band. Neither one of us are gay, by the way. Just get that out of the way right now. But Shane said, "Hey, bloody man, Divine is performing at this gay bar, man. You want to go?" I said, "Hell yeah, let's go see Divine. Are you kidding, man? What a trip," because we were big fans of the John Waters movies like Polyester, Pink Flamingos. Female Troubles is my favorite. Absolute favorite John Waters film with Divine. Female Troubles, man, what a great film. There's also Hairspray. I wasn't a real big fan of once Divine kind of got mainstream, but that's just my hang up, man. But I do recommend the early ones like Multiple Maniacs. There's so many great John Waters movies with Divine. I moved to Greeley, Colorado from Peoria, Illinois in the summer of 1987. I had friends in Boulder. I had friends in Denver. And my friends in Boulder were more chill, kind of punk rock and some hippies kind of people. But my friends in Denver were punk rockers and just people like me that like to party. And Shane Frink, the lead guitar player and singer for the band Happy World, is a legend, still is. Happy World, if you haven't heard them, are one of the most... one of the best kept underground secrets ever. Great band. That's all I can say. They did some great albums too, and Shane Frink is a genius. Well, I went to Denver to pick up Shane Frink, and we went to the Rock Island Gay Bar to see Divine. A little bit of information about Divine for those of you that might be interested, right? If you're a film fan or a Divine fan. Harris Glenn Milstead is Divine's real name. They called him Glenn. He actually died March the 7th, 1988 at the age of 42. Died in his sleep, had a heart attack. Bless his heart, man. He was a good person from what I gather. He could also be very temperamental. And you'll hear about a little bit later in my story, my kind of interaction with Divine was kind of a letdown. But Divine was an actor, a singer, and a drag queen, right? Divine, Glenn, would not go dressed up as a woman in public, only if being paid. So Divine was very much a character actor, even though that Glenn was gay. At first he used to downplay that, and then later on he started admitting it and saying, hey, who cares what I am? Anyway, Divine was a very interesting person. I was always a big fan of Divine. A lot of my friends back in Central Illinois, back in the 80s, we would trade tapes of John Waters films, and we couldn't wait to get our hands on them. And Female Troubles and Pink Flamingos are just legendary movies. Of course, John Waters, discovered Divine, was like friends with Divine, started putting Divine in films early on, black and whites and like silent ones, and then started building up to like the real bizarre movies like Pink Flamingos, which was rated X, by the way. So those movies are just killer. I made a couple notes here. When they asked Divine about performing, Divine said, "It's just good, dirty fun, and if you find it offensive, honey, don't join in." He did capitalize on his image from being in those movies by performing his music performances, like where he would perform as Divine in drag, his drag persona. And he released music. He was in movies, sometimes performing in movies as a man, not always a female, but mostly. So that's a trip. There's even one movie where Divine plays a female and a male, and it looks like he's like getting it on with himself, and it's like interspliced, and it's very bizarre, very John Waters kind of thing. Anyway, Divine Did an album called Jungle Jezebel in 1982, which I had a copy of that. And then there was a compilation that came out in 84 called The Story So Far, which was kind of the best of Divine with all the singles Divine had released in different places on different labels. So I pick up Shane Frink. We decide to go to the bar. I pick him up in my Thunderbird. I forget what year my Thunderbird was, like 1988 Thunderbird. I used to love those big cars. I pick him up in Denver. He hops in the car, man. Shane's a super cool guy. We start smoking up. You know, we're drinking some beers. He's got some booze with him. We're getting buzzed immediately, right? We go to Rock Island, and both of us are kind of laughing because here we are, two dudes going to a gay bar, you know. We weren't really feeling weird about it because we were both kind of comfortable with our sexuality. So we had friends that were gay. We had friends that were very homophobic even too. But we were just the kind of guys that were cool with anybody artistic or weird. We didn't give a shit. No one's going to hit on you. And if they do, you tell them back off. It's only happened to me once or twice because I've performed in gay bars. And believe me, more women, you'll find more women hanging out in gay bars. And I don't mean gay ones. A lot of girls go to gay bars just to get away from like going to bars where guys constantly hit on them. So that's where I used to like find girls, but to believe it or not. But Shane Frink, interesting guy. I'm still in touch with him. He was a master thief. I don't know about today, and I'm sure he wouldn't be mad at me for telling the story from 1988, but he was a thief back then, man, and I saw it happen over and over and over. He would take things, and I wouldn't see him even do it. It's almost like the guy had sleight of hand, right? So we're at the Rock Island bar, and it was like a multi-level bar, like real dark with like red lights and just a real trippy setting, wild vibe, lots of eccentric people there, as you can imagine. But there was 2 levels, right? And on each level, they had a bar. And on each bar, at the end of each bar, they had these big, like 20, 50-gallon fish tanks or whatever they were. Maybe 10, 20-gallon fish tanks. But they were on the ends of the bar, and people were throwing money in there, right? So if the tank's like this big, it would be like this full of money. There'd be like dollar bills, a bunch of change, just all the way up to here, you know? And people would throw it in there all night. These bartenders working hard to, you know, serve people. Shane Frink says, "Hey, watch this, bloody." And I see he's looking at the fish bowl. And I'm like, oh, my God, he's not even going to try this. How's he going to get away with this? So I'm kind of acting nonchalant like, man, I don't want anything to do with getting busted right now. Keep losing my note because the damn fan's blowing my papers away. So Shane, next thing I know, man, he goes in for like this swoop. I didn't even really see him do it. I turned around for like half a second. And next thing you know, he's got a bunch of money in his hand. And I'm just like thinking, dude, you just stole those bartenders tips, bro. Not really cool. But I was kind of laughing because he took the money and bought us drinks. Kept buying us drink after drink after drink. We got pretty sloshed, man. We were having fun. We couldn't believe Divine was going to be playing there. We didn't know where. So we had to like ask the bartender, where's Divine performing? And it was like this weird side room, right? There wasn't really even a proper stage. It was almost like, it was really weird. There was maybe 50 people in that room, I'm going to say tops, and I was very surprised by that. So we stood right up, like very close to where this door was at, and there was like a little DJ set up, like a little stereo, like some PA system, microphone staying up front, of course on a stand, and there was speakers on stands. But we were wondering what's going to go on. Is Divine going to have a band? Because there was no drums or guitar or amps. Well, sure enough, before you knew it, the music starts, and we're in this room, and we smell pot. We can smell weed big time from the back room, and we're like, man, the music's starting. Something's going to happen soon. And it was a bunch of really loud disco music. I believe, actually, it was Divine music, perhaps, actually. And we were getting excited because we were thinking, well, any second now, Divine's going to hit the stage and either have a band or do something. We don't know exactly what Divine does live. We didn't even know Divine was going to be there. We just happened to see it in the paper and got tickets. Anyway, so Divine, all of a sudden, we smell the weed even more. We're like, man, Divine is a known pothead, right? And of course, we were smoking too. But all of a sudden, this back door opens that walks up to the floor, and there's Divine in full drag, full glory, the weird-ass makeup like you see in the movies, and out there just shaking it and doing this whole animated thing. But also seemed like he was in kind of a weird mood at the same time, like not really wanting to be there. It was a kind of a, maybe he was being obnoxious, sort of. And I do have a list of the songs performed, but not the exact order. But he did I'm So Beautiful, which is like a kind of a gay club hit or like a weird alternative hit that used to be out. There was a video for it I used to see. I don't know if it was on MTV or not, but it was Divine, I'm So Beautiful. Super funny song. The Name Game, which was a take on the old Shirley Ellis song, you know, like Lincoln, Pinkin, Popeki, Banana, Panna, Fofikin, Fee, Five, Fofinkin, Lincoln, that kind of thing. So Divine had a single called The Name Game. That was performed that night. In between songs, man, Divine wasn't real talkative, but when she did talk, she said things like, yeah, fuck you very much, and stuff like that. Very obnoxious, definitely sneering at the crowd, trying to appear to be like a Godzilla meets Elizabeth Taylor, you know, kind of thing. And all lip sync. The whole thing was lip sync. Divine comes out, grabs a mic, which is live, but the music's pre-recorded, and it's obviously on tape or whatever they were doing. And it was just kind of weird, man. We were like, okay, it's Divine karaoke, kinda, but it's Divine singing, right? But it was no different than like Gigi Allen. He used to do the same thing. Shock rock performer Gigi Allen. He would perform to a backing tape in the early days. But we were tripping because it was just great to see Divine up there. We were like this close to Divine. It's like standing right up there, like giving, you know, Divine all this love. We were all drunk, you know. It was like, Divine, you know. She did a Jungle Jezebel, Shoot Your Shot, You Think You're a Man, which was another video and another hit for Divine in the weird alternative, maybe dance scene. But You Think You're a Man, you think you're a man, but you know you're a boy. You think you're a man. Anyway, something like that. You know, Divine continued to kind of verbally abuse the audience. It was just weird, but there was no stage or anything like that. And we kept telling Divine to come over to us just to see if we could get some kind of weird interaction with Divine or get a photo or something. And Divine just kept doing this, like, hang on, man. And kept performing, right? Did some more songs like Native Love, Love Reaction, The Alphabet Rap, and Shake It Up. It was very bizarre because Divine's up there like go-go dancing and shimmying. It was so surreal. Me and Shane are just looking at each other like, this is so bizarre, dude. We're so used to watching our little VHS tapes, and here's this character, this Divine character right in front of our face, full drag. Just crazy that I didn't get any photos that night, man. It's really sucky. But when Divine was getting near the end of the set, which, to be honest, only lasted maybe 30 to 40 minutes. It was really short. We kept thinking, man, that was weird. I forget how much we paid, maybe $8.50 or $10. I don't remember. But I don't know. It was trippy. All of a sudden, Divine's like kind of grabbing her stuff and getting ready to go, and looks back at everybody and is doing some obnoxious stuff like, you know, fuck you kind of thing. Well, Divine, I go, hey man, come here. We were going to see if we could get high with Divine because we had some weed, and Divine's a big pothead. I thought, wouldn't that be a great story to sit here and get stoned with Divine? That'd be surreal, right? So Divine says, okay, wait a minute, and goes outside that door for a minute, comes back in. We're like, oh yeah, cool. And then he continues to ignore us, like he's not coming over, or she. And Divine does it again, like, hang on a minute, 1 minute, man, hang on, I'll be right over there. And then shuts the door, and that was it. Never saw him again. We were like, man, that was a weird ass night, man. No stage, small ass or short set, hardly anybody there. Seemed like he was in a bad mood. It was just all this weed in the air, and we were just like, what a freaking surreal night. Divine live at the Rock Island, 1988. Well, we ended up going back out to the bar because Shane knew that he could probably get some more money. Well, I didn't want to go in there, so I just kind of walked around and lost Shane. But when I ran into him about 20 minutes later, after just walking around and people watching, ran into Shane, and he had just pockets full of money. I was like, dude, God. But he ended up giving me a bunch of money for gas because it was a cruise from Denver to Greeley, like an hour and a half. And I ended up taking Shane home, and I ended up driving home. So, man, that's about the end of the story about Divine. It was very surreal, like I say. I grew up watching Divine films. Still am a Divine fan. I love John Waters movies. And by the way, speaking of John Waters, here's a book that I have. Actually, it's on eBay for sale on my Fanatic Pop Culture store. Yeah, you can find my eBay store, Fanatic Pop Culture. John Waters actually autographed this for me once. Pretty cool, right? And you can see it certified. That's a certification number from James Spence Authentication. But there you go, man. John Waters is going to see me in hell. And maybe I'll see you there. Please subscribe to my channel. Give the video a like if you liked it at all. And leave a comment, man. Cheers. I'm going to get off. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to sign off before it hits 15 minutes. Watch me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.